Well, I'm with Geoff Lloyd and we're on the Indigrow stand, and it's quite an exciting time for you guys because you've got a new range that you've just launched. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. We've been working on this range now for probably 3 years, doing quite a lot of development work, trying to get a range of products which was comparable to other slow release granular fertilisers which are available at the moment anyway.
And so it's 3 years. Tell me a little bit more about what it actually does,
Okay.
and the background to it.
Okay. It started off probably in 2018 when we were looking at different sources of fertiliser to see whether they were any better in the early spring than others. So we're looking at nitrates, ammoniums, ureas. And during the course of that development, we were looking at some fertiliser products which contained humic acid. And it became quite apparent quite early on that we were actually getting quite a good performance out of those. So that was in 2018. 2020 we did some more work which led us a bit further down the track, and then in 2021 we did quite an extensive trial programme, fully replicated scientific trials, to see whether these products performed as well as some of the traditional products which were on the market, such as polymer coating materials. And basically they did.
Can you, in terms of percentage improvement, do you know what sort of your level of improvement there are in the previous generation?
Okay, we weren't necessarily looking for an improvement, right? We were looking for something which was an alternative. So, because the polymer coating materials, if they've been around for 50 years, sometimes we all get sucked into doing the same old thing. And actually, there are some clouds over the horizon for that, because new EU regulations means that the polymer coat, the plastic coat, in a couple of years' time is going to have to be fully biodegradable. So I know some of our friends that have probably developed that already, but there's a lot of people who haven't. So we were looking for more of a naturally occurring slow release. And what we found was that with our humic products, we were probably getting about a 6-week release, right? And this was based on measurements of sward density. So we weren't looking at colour, we were looking at how dense the sward was. And we sort of laid the trials down and monitored it with an NDVI meter every 2 weeks. And at each time, the humics were doing equally as well as the traditionals, and in some cases better. But I'm not going to go and say that they're 100% better. I'm saying that they do equally the same job in a more sustainable way, and they've also got some slight cost advantages as well.
I was going to touch on the sustainability element, because you're obviously talking about natural elements.
Yeah.
Obviously there are elements that are in fixed supply at the moment.
Yeah.
So it makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help us actually, because obviously we've got humic acid, but we incorporate into that the regular NPK fertilisers, which, as you quite rightly say, is a major problem. Yeah. Fortunately, we planned it quite a lot earlier, and we're able to secure supplies of that. So we've got most of the products in place for this coming year. I think the thing with the humic acids is that it is a naturally occurring material. I wouldn't say, again, it's 100% organic, because it has to be processed to go into it. So, it's not fair to suggest otherwise. But it is a naturally occurring material. And, they've been around for many years. It's just we've applied it to the turf market a little bit more seriously, I think.
Now, your customer, have they got the level of knowledge that is going to encourage them to move from what they were traditionally using to what you're offering them now?
Well, I think that's why we've spent such number of seasons and time and effort doing these trials. I mean, it wasn't a case of just putting down a bit there and a bit there and having a look. I mean, these were fully replicated. The one trial had 10 treatments, 48 plots, all the statistical analysis that you could do on a scientific basis. Because I think now greenkeepers they're looking for something a bit more. They're more serious. They want data. They don't want to say this is the best thing since sliced bread. They want to say, well, why is it the best thing since sliced bread? And that's what we're giving them, and that's why we've got good information available, which is well proven, that we can say, well, this is it. Okay, it's not 100% better all the time, but it's equally as good. You make the decision on what you want to do.
Smashing. Well, good luck with the launch.
Nice.
And we've got a few flow of visitors here that are going to take advantage of the information you can give them.
Yep.
And thanks very much for your time, Geoff.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thanks
Smashing.
a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.